for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. My apologies for my voice being a little bit hoarse this morning. I was screaming quite a bit at yesterday's presentation, so I'll do my best to sound as good as I possibly can. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is a strategy that I absolutely love. Yesterday I was presenting a presentation called Taking the Stigma Out of Turnkey Real Estate. And it's a presentation that I've been speaking about for the last year around the country. So these two presentations are new. I just put them together over the last couple of weeks, and I absolutely love both of them. So the first one is learn how to negotiate, and the second one is how to get free publicity. Now, why I decided to compose these presentations was because I speak to a ton of investors on a daily basis. Anywhere from 5 to 10 investors would contact us and ask me about a ton of different things. So I thought I might as well put these presentations together. We're also recording it, and then it's just going to be used as extra content on our YouTube channel and on all of our social media platforms, along with extra content for me to present when I speak in public, because that is something that I really aspire to do moving forward. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not a public speaker. I'm not trained to speak in public. I'm very rude and raw in a lot of my presentations. And I was actually told yesterday by someone that you tell people what they should hear, not what they want to hear. And that's the way I like to go about it. And I always like to stress that all of my presentations are not about me in the way where I'm going to ask you for something. So there is no sales pitch. There is nothing for sale. There is no sales slide. I believe that selling from stage is absolute bullshit, okay? And I also believe that people buy people. So if you like the person, you might one day do business with them, and one day you might buy something from them. There is no need for me to stand up in front of you today and shove anything down your throat and force you to buy it. I don't believe in it. I think it's sleazy. I think it's disgusting. And I'm never, ever, ever going to do that. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, I've got huge aspirations to get a reality TV flip show and finally make those TV flipping shows real, because right now they're fake. The figures are fake. The renovation figures are fake. The sales prices are fake. Everything about it is fake. So those are my aspirations. Now, when one day I do get one of these TV flipping shows, I'm still not going to be selling courses, seminars, DVDs, and books from stage. As I said, I do not believe in that, and I do not want to do that. So that's something that I want to stress to you guys. So there's nothing for sale. This is pure content, which is based on my perceptions, opinions, and experiences. I've been in real estate for over 4 years now. I've been involved in over 350 real estate transactions, and every single one of those transactions, I implemented this strategy when I was negotiating, okay? So that right there is a property in Australia. And I'm known in Australia as buying Australia's cheapest house. That right there is Australia's cheapest house. As you can see, we've got some pretty cool graffiti there. Fuck the police and all of that fun stuff on the side of the house. It was severely vandalized, and it was in a town which was around a 10-hour drive from Sydney. And I'll give you a little bit of an example in regards to the prices in Sydney right now. So the average median house price in Sydney is $1.1 million as of today, okay? So that is for a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in the middle of Whoop Whoop. You're going to be paying anywhere from $500,000 to $1.5 million. So the median is around $1.1 million, right? Now, I bought this house, which is not in Sydney, but still, it is unheard of anyone buying a house that cheap. Yay. Sorry, guys. There we go. Imagine if we had 100,000 freaking people in an audience and that happens. I would just walk off stage. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so where was I? I bought this house for $15,000 cash. Unheard of. Absolutely unheard of in Australia, okay? I renovated it for $15,000 and I sold it for $74,900. making a really, really, really sexy profit, okay? The media picked up on it because they could not believe that there's a house in Australia, anywhere in Australia, that you can buy for $15,000. I mean, this lot of land costs $20,000 to $30,000, and it's a country town in Australia, right? So it was just mesmerizing for them. And as I said, I got a ton of publicity, ton of media mentions. And if you Google Australia's cheapest house right now, you're going to find this property. Okay, so I'm going to get into this presentation just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on what I believe you need to implement to be able to negotiate all of your real estate transactions the same way that I do and the same way that all of my business partners do. Okay, so the first bullet point there is, guys, do your research and familiarize yourself with the numbers. Okay, you have to become a market expert in whatever market you are looking at investing in, period. Okay, so you have to know the numbers in this particular area. You have to know what is on the market for sale. You have to know what is coming up for sale. You have to know what sold. You have to know how much it's sold for. You have to know who the big players are in that market. What I mean by that is companies that are buying, fixing, and flipping. Property management companies. Who are the main realtors in that market? I think you can get a little bit of a drift of what I'm saying here. So you have to familiarize yourself with the numbers in your market. The comparable sales, what a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom renovated property is selling for, what a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom unrenovated property is selling for, what foreclosures sell for. Know the freaking numbers in the market. That is your first and foremost step to negotiating, okay? Unless you know these figures, I mean, you will never know what type of price you should attach to a particular property, right? So do your research, familiarize yourself with the numbers, and become a market expert. Network. I always say that your network equals your net worth. I got to where I am today by asking questions of people who are where I wanted to be. A little bit of a background on me too. I quit school when I was 14. I've got no formal education whatsoever. I type with 2 fingers. My math sucks. My grammar is even freaking worse. Okay. And folks ask me, Engelo, how the hell are you running a multi-million-dollar real estate investment company? How the hell are you getting on front covers of magazines? How the hell are you on every freaking radio station in the country? Right? It's because I ask, first of all, I'm a very pushy guy. I ask to be on these particular stations. We do a lot of cold pitch emails. I'm going to touch on that in the second presentation, right? But how I learned and how I grew as an entrepreneur and a business owner and an individual in general was by asking questions of people who are where I wanted to be. That is how I got to where I am today, and that is how we have achieved the level of success that we have achieved to date. Asking questions of people who are where we want to be, right? Copy the best. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. Take someone else's and put it on your carriage, okay? So you have to network. Okay, so first of all, we have familiarized ourselves with the numbers in the particular market. Okay, second, you have to network. Network with bird dogs. Okay, network with wholesalers. Network with other investigators, other investors. Okay, network with realtors. I mean, even ask grandma at Walmart if she knows of anyone selling. Okay, literally. Get a t-shirt created where it says, I'm a real estate investor. Do you have a house for sale? Carry it around. I mean, look at me. I'm literally always in blue and yellow. Everywhere I go, I'm in blue and yellow because those are our company colors, right? Always be branding. Whatever it is that you're looking at doing, promote it, right? There's a saying, what's the saying? Not the always be branding one. There's, I can't remember now. Anyway, so please network with as many people as you possibly can. That's right, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say that you have to, whatever it is that you are looking at doing, you have to love it, you have to breathe it, you have to eat it, you have to dream it. Your whole life has to evolve around whatever it is that you guys are looking at doing. In this instance right now, we are looking at finding deals. We are looking at negotiating those deals. And that's why I mentioned here, ask grandma at Walmart. So the only thing that should be on your mouth is, hi, I'm Engelo, and I'm a real estate investor, and I buy properties. Do you have anything for sale? whoever you speak to, your whole life has to evolve around that particular thing that you want to be good at and what you want to achieve, right? So right here and right now, we're talking about negotiating, and I'm touching on how to find these deals, okay? So your network equals your net worth. Network with as many people as possible, alrighty? So this is kind of the foundation to negotiating, okay? What you need to know, who you need to know, okay? Make yourself sound big. Now, this is how I started, and this is what I was advised to do when I just started my journey as an entrepreneur and real estate investor, right? I did not have one single transaction under my belt. I was 23 at the time, I can't remember, or 22, and here I am going out into the market, calling realtors, calling sellers, and negotiating on real estate deals, right? And did anyone take me seriously? I mean, of course they wouldn't take me seriously, because they would ask me, questions that I couldn't answer. They could hear a young voice, they could hear an inexperienced voice, right? And of course they wouldn't want to do business with me. So you have to make yourself sound big. And I've got here, it says, speak with confidence and conviction, backed by experience, to be taken seriously. White lies if need be. Now, let me clarify what white lies if need be means. So let's say you do not have as much experience in real estate and you have not done as many deals as, for example, I have. I am allowing you right now to call whoever the hell you want to call, be it a realtor, wholesaler, a seller, grandma selling her house, and you can tell all of them that you work with Ohio Cashflow and Engelo Rumora, the real estate dingo, and you do hundreds of real estate transactions every single year. Okay? Am I clear? So you can call these people and tell them that you are affiliated with our company and with me, and that we are all partners, even though we're not partners. Okay? So these are the little white lies that unfortunately you have to use to be taken seriously. If you do not make yourself sound big, and if you do not use these little white lies, people will not take you seriously. They will eliminate you immediately, and you will not be able to purchase a property, period. So what I did at the time is I was very fortunate to work as an apprentice under a particular fellow who's right now has a $100 million business in Australia. He's one of the biggest motivational speakers and gurus there in the country. And I used his name as leverage to be able to make myself sound big. So I said, you know, A, B, and C and myself are partners, and we buy hundreds of deals every single day for us and our investors. Straight away, it's a different tone. Straight away, it's a different way that these sellers will speak to you, right? We would also mention that we've got the cash to make any transaction happen. I like to call it the CIA, cash, influence, and authority, okay? We've got the cash to purchase the properties ourselves. If we don't have the cash, we've got the influence to influence someone else to buy them. Now, if we don't have the cash and if we don't have the influence, well, then we've got the authority to make a decision on behalf of a particular company that can perform on this transaction. Right? So once you start making yourself sound big, once you start throwing these big words out there, people start to take you seriously. Realtors, they want a quick sale. They don't care about anything else except selling a property quickly and moving on to someone else. So they're all for it. They love you now. They want to sell you properties. Wholesalers, they're also under a time crunch of when they have to sell that particular property and perform on the contract. So they love you now. Grandma, she wants out so she can retire in Florida, so she loves you now, right? So you've got the cash, you've got the influence, you've got the authority to make it happen, and you've got the experience based on the transactions that you and your business partners are doing, also to close on that deal quickly. So all of a sudden now you're like this big guy here, right? And you are sounding big, you are sounding knowledgeable, you are speaking with confidence and conviction, backed by experience, okay? So that is your little first step. Now, the second step here is take all emotion out of any decisions. Please take all emotion out of any decisions. I mean, you cannot buy a house because it looks pretty. I mean, once again, I'm going back to those bullshit TV reality flip shows. Guys, that's an absolute joke. That's a joke. Why the hell would you sand the floor with a $10,000 Rolex? I mean, it's ridiculous. Real estate is not a pretty business. Real estate is a very ugly business. Right? And at the end of the day, it just comes down to making more money than what you lose. We lose money every single freaking day. I can't tell you how much money I'm losing every single day, but I make more than what I lose, okay? So you have to take emotion out of any decision, okay? So you cannot buy a property on how it looks. You have to buy a property based on the numbers. You have to buy a property based on the comparable sales. You have to buy a property based on how much profit you're going to make, right? So we already touched on becoming a market expert, familiarizing yourself with the particular figures, okay, in that market, and that will enable you to take all emotion out of any decision, okay? So do not involve emotion in any decisions, and especially when negotiating. Especially when negotiating. This tip right here, right now, is the absolute biggest one I can give you. Be willing to walk away at any moment. Okay? When a realtor, and we buy very, very few properties off the MLS because there's too much competition there. We submit an offer, the realtor comes back and he says, highest and best. And I always tell him, I wish the highest bidder all the best. We do not get into any bidding wars. Okay? I also am willing to walk away at any given moment. Okay? So I'm going to mix these two little bullet points up. Never show any desperation. Okay? Now, if you put yourself in such a vulnerable position, right? If you put yourself in such a vulnerable position that you have to sell a property via a fire sale because you're going to lose your ass, well, guess what? You suck and you completely deserve to lose your ass. Period. So if you are negotiating in a desperate state, you're fucked from the get-go. Excuse my rawness there, but you literally are. And you deserve to lose your ass. And I'm saying this right now, and we're recording it for everyone watching. If I ever get to a stage with my business, or if my real estate transactions where I have to negotiate in a desperate state, I hope that every single one of you out there can literally take me all the way down under. Take me under, all the way. I want to lose it all, okay? So never show desperation. Never. No matter how desperate you are, never, ever, ever show desperation, even if you're going to lose your ass. Because if you show desperation, you're going to build that type of hype, not hype, you're going to build that. People are going to know you for losing money on deals and for showing desperation, and they're going to think that you're an easy target, that they can pick you easily, and that they can negotiate with you better. Always be willing to walk away. I can't tell you how many times I've walked away. Literally, we've gotten to the last little step of negotiating on a particular transaction, and they try and bump me up by $500. I walk away. I don't want it. I don't want it. $500, I will walk away from a deal for $500 freaking dollars, even though I can make $30,000 on that transaction. Out of principle, I will walk away. So they know that they can't mess with me. They cannot mess with me moving forward. Now, we buy a lot of deals. We buy anywhere from 20 to 50 properties. Well, not at the moment, but we're looking at scaling to that much. We're buying anywhere from 10 to 15 properties right now. We're looking at buying 20 plus properties here in the very near future. And literally, we will walk away because of $500, okay? And that, my friends, when you do that, then everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows that you're a tough negotiator. Everyone knows that they can't mess with you. Everyone knows that your word is your word. And once you perform on those deals, because you have the cash, influence, and authority, everyone loves you for it, and they want to do even more business with you, and then they just start sending deals your way. So all of a sudden, we start getting flooded with properties. From wholesalers, bird dogs, realtors, I mean, you name it. I can log into my laptop right now. I'll have 20 deals in my inbox, right? People wanting to sell me their stuff, right? How good so far? Yeah? Awesome. Okay? So that's a good little slide there. And here is one of my favorite slides. Okay, here is one of my favorite slides. You can see we've got a little piece of poo there, Mr. Hanky. I always like to keep it fun and weird and stupid and rude and controversial, and I mean, you name it. Those words should, you know, when you look those words up in the dictionary, they should have my name next to them. Now, you need to pay attention to this, because this here right now is your recipe to making money in real estate when it comes to negotiating. And this is a strategy that I was taught by my mentor. As I said, he's got a $100 million business right now in Australia. And he said, Engelo, the more shit you throw on the wall, eventually some will stick. How about that? Okay? The more shit that you throw on the wall, eventually some will stick, and I'm going to be polite so you can write this down. The more mud you throw on the wall, eventually some will stick, but I think shit sounds much better than mud, so that's why I'm using shit in my presentation, okay? So, we've conducted our due diligence, we've familiarized ourselves with the market, we know the comparable sales, we know what the properties are selling for, we know what the properties' asking prices are, we know how many days they're on the market, we know who the big players are in the market, we know the wholesalers, the bird dogs, we've made ourselves sound big, we have bought properties in the past, we're buying more properties as we speak, right? Now, what you have to do after all of that has been implemented is you have to submit offers daily. And I'm talking about every single day you have to submit offers, okay? So jump on Craigslist, guys. I mean, we have bought 30 plus properties in 2014 from Craigslist, right? We stalk Craigslist every single day. We know the numbers in the market. As soon as we see a good opportunity presents itself, boom, we're onto it and we're submitting an offer, okay? So submit offers every single day. Throw shit on the wall. If a property is selling for $100, hypothetically $100, you are going to submit an offer of 50. And you're going to do it every single day, every single time. And you're going to do it 100 times a week. And I can tell you right now, 99.9% of the time, the seller is going to come back and say, you have lost your mind. You're crazy. What the hell are you thinking? And that is great. If you're Australian like me, you can just blame your accent and not knowing the market well, right? And you'll get away with it. But you guys can just respond in a way where you diplomatically and professionally reply by saying, look, I'm sincerely sorry for offending you with my offer. I'm still new to the market and I'm trying to understand the numbers better. My sincere apologies. Please forgive me, right? When you put yourself down and when you apologize and put your head down, people will not bother you anymore. They'll let you go, right? So submit offers every single day, or as I like to say, throw shit on the wall, because you are throwing shit. And it is pretty disrespectful, because if someone wants $100 for their property and you offer 50, right, it's a pretty disrespectful offer, and it's a very, 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 very low ball offer. What's going to happen, as I said, is 99.9% of the time, they're going to come back and say that you are absolutely crazy. How could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. You diplomatically respond and apologize. One time out of 100, they're going to be a desperate seller, just like I mentioned in the slide before. And they're going to come back and they're going to say, you know what? I really need to sell this property. Give me $75 and it's yours. And that is when you know you've got yourself a freaking awesome deal, because you're going to up your offer a little bit to 60 and you're going to meet them at 65 and you're going to renovate this property and you're going to sell it for $150. Now let's do that in thousands. $100,000, you've bought it for $50,000, right? Sorry, you offered $50,000, you've bought it for $65,000, you've renovated it for another $20,000, so you're into it for $85,000 and you're selling it for $150,000. You've almost doubled your money on the deal, just like I did on Australia's cheapest house, right? Now, you guys are most likely single investors. You're not companies like we are, where we need to buy 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 per month. You can be patient. You can wait for the right deal to come along in the right area that meets your right profit numbers, and you can throw as much shit on the wall as you want until that right deal comes along. The average salary in America right now is $45,000 or $50,000, right? How many of these properties that I just said do you have to buy before you make your salary? One, right? So why not wait all freaking year for a deal like that and throw shit on the wall all freaking year? Or do you want to work a 9 to 5 for the whole year? Now, you are going to have thick skin. You are going to have thick skin, period, because they are going to abuse you. They're going to swear at you. They're going to curse at you. You cannot react. Okay, I was always told never react, always respond. I'm still working on that because sometimes I react. Okay, never react, always respond. Stay calm, stay collected. Okay, always respond in a thought through and a political, diplomatic way. Okay, so guys, be persistent and never give up. Keep doing this every single day. every single day. Throw shit on the wall, keep throwing it, keep throwing it, keep throwing it. I can tell you right now, it's my promise to you. If you implement this and you do it every single day for 12 months, you will find 3 deals a year that will put $30,000 to $50,000 profit in your pocket. Period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, and you do not even have to do it full time. Okay? So please throw the shit on the wall. And that is my, you want to take a photo of the one before? There you go, mate.
Can I get this in Australia?
Hey?
Can I find this slide in Australia?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. You too, mate. That concludes my presentation on how to negotiate. Okay? I'm going to get going with the the presentation on how to get free publicity now. As you can see, there are no courses for sale. There are no DVDs, seminars, masterminds, and all of that bullshit. I am writing a book, so I will sell you books one day, but we're going to price them like at $9.99. I'm not even going to make any money on it, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you guys want these slides, I'd be more than happy to send them to you. So just feel free to let me know afterwards. But as I said, guys, we've been involved in over 350 deals. I mean, we make a shitload of profit per deal. We buy properties at 50 to 70% off the asking price. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And as I said, this is the #1 way of doing it. And once people in your network start to know who you are and what you do and that you can perform, your life is going to be freaking easy because you will not even have to look for deals anymore. That will just be given to you every single freaking day. You'll find them in your inbox. Okay?
What markets you get?
Mate, we got 2 offices right now. We're in Toledo, we're in Middletown, and our 5 markets are Toledo, Middletown, Cincinnati, Dayton, and we've just expanded into Columbus. Okay? Ohio, just Ohio, mate. That's all. Look, what we do, mate, is we buy rundown properties, we fix them up, we get them tenanted, and then we sell them to investors from all over the world. And when we started Ohio Cashflow, a lot of folks out there were like, why are you limiting yourself to Ohio Cashflow? I would rather become known as a market expert in one particular market, absolutely own that market, and become the #1 player in that market before I expand into another market, right? So we've already got Michigan Cashflow in the works. Might be going into that market ourselves or franchising into that market. Indiana Cashflow is also in the works. We've bought 6 or 7 domain names where we do have the bigger picture of potentially expanding into all of these markets, but that's still years away, mate. We've got so much untapped demand to fulfill in Ohio, there is no need to expand anywhere else right now. And I also don't believe in folks that are in our industry doing what we're doing, right? You can't have a foothold in every single market like you can in one particular market. So by starting up a company, USA Cashflow, I think that's bullshit. I think that there is no freaking way that we would be able to offer the same product and service that we do right now in one market if we were working in several different markets. So that's why I completely scrapped the idea of USA Cashflow and we just did Ohio Cashflow. The numbers work. No one's buying there right now. Everyone's scared. High unemployment, declining population, right? Those are the 2 main things that you're going to hear about Ohio right now. While, for example, here in Texas, Florida, North Carolina, East Coast, West Coast, the hedge funds, Mr. Wall Street has waved his magic wand, poof, raised $2 billion. He's gone into these markets and bought up every single property available, right? While in Ohio, we feel like kids in a candy store. I mean, we're buying properties all day long. We've got no competition at all, and I'm absolutely loving it. So anyway, there's a longer story there, mate, to that. I'm not sure if you were at my presentation yesterday about taking the stigma out of turnkey real estate, but these presentations are going to be online, and my presentation from last night is going to be online. And there I talk a little bit more about Ohio Cashflow, who we are and what we do, along with a ton of other good content. As I said, every single one of my presentations, there is nothing for sale. I don't sell. And I think whoever sells from stage is a sleazeball, and I'm very, very happy to say that in public, and I've got no fear of saying that. Okay, so the last little presentation that I've got is going to be how to get free publicity, and as I said, I composed this particular presentation because a lot of folks asked me, how do you buy so many deals and how do you get them so cheap and how did you buy Australia's cheapest house? And now what I get a lot of folks asking me is, how the hell do you get so many radio interviews? How the hell do you get so many podcasts? How the hell is your face on the front cover of the Personal Real Estate Investor magazine? How the hell do you do all of these things? And how much money do you pay to do all of these things, right? And that pisses me off because I don't pay anything. We literally get all of our publicity for free, right? And I'm going to show you guys why we get all of our publicity for free and how we go about getting it. And look, I know you guys are thinking right now that I'm a ridiculously good-looking man, which I am. And like, that's a velvet jacket and whatnot, right? I'm kidding. No, but it's not my looks and it's not my accent. Anyone can do this as long as you... That sounds so corny, right? Anyone can do this. It's like I'm going to be selling some shit now. No, but seriously, anyone can do it. Really, anyone can do it. And I'm going to tell you a few steps right now of what you guys can implement to do this, because there is a process to it. And that's why I put this presentation together with the process of what Dominique and myself do every single day. Guys, I'm going to touch on it here in a bit, but real estate is about numbers, okay? It's about numbers. The more numbers that you commit to on a daily basis, the more doors will open for you, okay? Submit your offers, just like we explained in the previous presentation, daily. Get your ass out of bed early. Sit your ass in the office at 6 a.m. Don't leave your ass out of the office until 8 p.m. Get on the phone. Make the phone calls, send the emails, do the research, go to the meetings, attend the seminars, expos, conventions, right? It's all about numbers. This year, I'm going to be doing 360 videos. I'm going to be writing 150 blogs, okay? I want to buy, fix, and flip over 250 properties. These are the goals that I set for myself and for our company for 2016. Numbers, numbers, numbers. Commit to the numbers. My ass is going to be in the office at 8 a.m. and I'm not going to leave until 6 p.m. Not too long ago, I was doing 100-hour weeks and it caused me to go to the ER twice because I thought I was dying from a heart attack. So I'm not going to do that anymore, right? Because at the end of the day, your health is your biggest wealth, right? So to start off this presentation, commit to the numbers every single day in everything you do. Okay, and that is how we get free publicity. Okay, now let's get into the logistics of this a little bit more. Okay, number one, write your story. Now look at that guy there. Now don't tell anyone I moved that magazine all the way to the front next to these guys because it was like stuck there in the back. I don't even know why the hell they put it all the way in the back. So anyway, we moved it in the front there. About me, you guys need to have a website. I mean, fucking hello, you need to have a website. If you don't have a website, please, get under that, get away from that rock. You're sleeping under a rock, okay? So you have to have a website. You have to have an about me on your website, okay? Write your story. I don't care if you're working on a farm and feeding chickens, okay? I really don't. Write a story about your experiences when it comes to feeding these bloody chickens. Okay? As long as you have pride in what you're doing, right? That's all that matters. Who gives a shit what anyone else says? I swept floors for 4 years on dirty construction sites. And I write about that in my About Me. I touch on that in my About Me. I was a laborer working on dirty construction sites. That is your story. Stay true to who you are and proudly share your story with the world. So write your story, okay, about me on your personal website. And here's my personal website right now. And there is a little snippet. Now keep this in mind. When you are composing your about me, you're going to have right here, right, you're going to have a ton of verbiage. No one's going to read that shit, but still, just have it on there because you want people to have the full-blown version of your story, right? Of who you are and your bio, okay? Now, here is where you're going to have your short little snippet, because any media outlet or any journalist or anyone that lands on your page, and I'm going to go into a little bit more depth about this in the following slides, Just wants a short little snippet intro of who you are. So check it out. Engelo Rumora, the real estate dingo, is a successful property investor, motivational speaker, and soon to be author that quit school at the age of 14, played professional soccer at 18, and bought his first investment property in February of 2011. Within 6 months, he purchased 7 more properties in Australia and the US, making his portfolio worth well over $1 million. He landed himself in the media spotlight when he purchased what is now known as Australia's cheapest house. I don't want to read anymore because I hate reading. And anyway, you can check out the bottom there, right? So when I'm having an interview on a radio station or on a podcast, that's what they read out. That's the first thing that they're going to check out to see how sexy my story is, if there's good content within that little snippet, and if they find me interesting enough to feature me in their outlet, right? Whatever it is that they're doing. It could be a journalist that's writing a story, an article. It could be a radio host that needs someone to interview, right? It could be a podcast. I've got, on the 29th of February, I've got a podcast with Entrepreneur on Fire, John Lee Dumas, one of the biggest freaking podcasts in the world, right? Which is, I'm humbled to be on his podcast, right? So this is your about me on your personal website. Guys, please do it, compose it, write your story. Your first step. Wix. Check this out. Now you guys are probably thinking, shit, I don't have the money to freaking create, to get someone to create my website, right? Well, guess what? I didn't have the money either, so I freaking created it myself, and I was literally vomiting for 2 weeks straight when I was creating my website because my face was so freaking close to the screen. I had no clue about web design. Dominique and I, 3 years ago, were eating peanut butter for breakfast and drinking $1 gas station coffees to survive, right? So we had no money to pay someone to create the website. So we found this freaking amazing thing, which is called Wix. I'm not sure how many of you know about Wix, but please check it out. Wix.com, right? You can literally create your own website, and it's so freaking easy that, a dropout like me, who can't type for shit and can't read and whatnot, actually created both of his websites by himself. So if you jump online right now and you go to ohiocashflow.com and you go to engelorumora.com, you're welcome, because I created both of those websites, okay? Guys, right now on Wix.com, you've got a ton of templates, pre-made websites. They're done, okay? Just like this one. Kevin Walker, I don't know who that guy is, but anyway, okay? So this is a template on Wix. So all you have to do is change that to Engelo Rumora, write a little bit there about what you want to write about, put your ugly mug in there, okay, and who you are, and that's it. There you go. People know who you are. You've got an online presence. You've got something to show to someone, okay? Wix.com, check it out. It is awesome. This is a template that I've taken from that particular website. So you can go onto Wix.com right now. You can go into that template and literally create your own personal website or one-page website like this is within an hour. You can pay them $14 a month to host your engelorumora.com website. Poof, you are live within 2 hours. You've got an online presence, okay? It is that freaking simple. Third one, if you don't want to do those two, right? So you can't do the first one, you don't want to do the second one, then here's the third one, which is about.me, okay? And about.me is like Facebook. It's like Twitter. It's literally exactly the same, except it's a little profile about you, right? So here is about.me. This is my about.me, right? It's the same as Wix. I mean, I put this together 2 days ago, just for the purpose of doing this presentation. Look how freaking sexy that looks. Seriously, okay, now, I did get this front cover, so that looks awesome. But it doesn't matter what you're going to put there. You're going to put something there. You're going to put a photo of yourself, right? If you've got a photo of Donald Trump, freaking shove it on there. Anything that gives you credibility, whatever it may be, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit more in the following slides. But that is your first step to getting free publicity. Having an online presence. Having a story about you, where you've been, what you've done, where you are now, what you're doing now, and where you are going. Okay? You have to have an online presence. People have to find you. People have to see you. They have to know what you do. Okay? Compose a cold pitch email. Okay? I mentioned earlier that you have to commit to the numbers every single day, right? You have to commit to the numbers. So how the hell are you going to get free publicity, right, if you're just an average schmuck like I am? No one knows who you are. There's a ton of people out there doing 17,000 better things than I am. So I ask. I push myself. Yesterday, I asked 5 people to be on their show at the REI Expo here. Well, the Think Realty Expo, right? And some of them looked at me like, you're fucking weird. Who are you, right? It doesn't matter. Thick skin, remember? Thick skin, same as with the negotiating. I'm nobody now, but one day you'll find out who I am. Thank you for your time. My sincere apologies for wasting it. Boom. Other people love me. Sure, you're cool. You're a crazy Aussie guy. I want you on my freaking podcast. Boom. I'm going to Chicago late February. I've got a gig there on a prime radio station. I've got to go into the studio. That's the first time I ever had to go into a studio to record a radio gig. Okay? So this, my friends, is what Dominique put together. We put this together, both of us, and we send this out every single day to as many people as we possibly can. Okay? So find a way to relate to the host/publisher. Okay? I've got the cold pitch email in the next slide. So let me give you an example. I want to be featured on Entrepreneur on Fire. Okay? We emailed them a year ago and they said no, because my story is not interesting enough to them. Okay? We emailed them 2 months ago, and when we emailed them 2 months ago, we mentioned in that email, hi, we emailed you a year ago, and you didn't find our story interesting enough. Well, check this out, my front cover. What do you think now? Sure, we would love to feature Engelo in our podcast, Entrepreneur on Fire. So we related to the host, right, by stressing that we emailed him a year ago, right? We were dismissed, and we're emailing him now, asking again. People love to see persistence, especially these folks that get inundated with inquiries, right? They also like to see you knowing a little bit about them, who they are and what they do. So relate to them. If you have read an article, okay, let's say John Smith has written an article about feeding chickens. When you reach out to John Smith in your cold pitch email, you're going to say, hi, John. I absolutely loved your article on December 24th of 2015 about how you feed chickens. You've related to the host or the publisher, and that catches their attention. That is the first thing that you're going to put in that email. Nothing for sale. You can't ask for something. Give something. Give people what they want before you can get what you want. Don't forget these words. Give people what they want before you can get what you want. I live my life based on that. And everyone, I get inundated every single day with messages, people asking me for something. I mean, it's a bloody joke. It is an absolute bloody joke. Everyone wants a piece of me. Everyone wants my advice. Everyone wants something from me, right? You know what? I would absolutely love for someone to say, Engelo, I'm going to come and wash your freaking car, right? And then I'm going to spend half an hour of asking you questions and I want your advice. I would never let them wash my car, but at least they offered to do something for me before they asked me for my advice. No one has ever done that. And I get 20 freaking messages every single day, people wanting something from me. I wish they told me I'll fucking buy you a chocolate. No one even offers to buy me a chocolate. Just, hey, I just wanted to ask you a quick little tip. Fuck off. I mean, sorry guys, I do what I do not for myself, not for personal benefit. I genuinely do it for everyone else. But I've got one of my loved ones here. My other loved ones are in Croatia. My other loved ones are in Australia. We've got investors on board. We've got 10 full-time staff. I do what I do right now for them. Once they are all set, then I'm going to do what I do for everyone else. But still, it's just something that I do not appreciate because I always look at giving other people what they want before I can get what I want, right? And then when I get dismissed, I still follow up and I show persistence. And that's what people love. No one has ever been persistent with me. They reach out to me once asking me for something. I dismiss them. I send them a generic little freaking message. Follow me on social media, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. I never hear from them again. While we kept following up. We followed up with John Lee DeMaas. And now I'm going to be on his podcast, February 29th. Entrepreneur on Fire, right? So in your email, you have related to the host. You have related to the publisher. And now, right, you are promising to them that you are going to share your experiences, opinions, and perceptions with their target audience. I want to be on your podcast. I want you to write an article about me, not because of personal benefit, but because of your benefit. Because I'm going to entertain your audience. They are going to get good content from me because I've been there, I've done that. You get where I'm going with this? It's not about you, it's about them. Once they see that you care about them and their audience, not about yourself, you'll get the gig. You will freaking get the gig. Use previous media mentions as leverage, okay? We touched on this in the presentation about how to negotiate, where I said you have to make yourself sound big, right? Same as here, guys. You have to use little white lies. If you do not have any media mentions, figure something out. Shoot a video of yourself and say, "G'day everyone, it's Engelo Rumora here. I'm just at the Dallas Think Realty Expo. Look how cool I am. Look at the freaking chandelier. I'm a real estate investor, blah, blah, blah." Right? You have to have the content. You have to do the videos. You have to write the articles, the blogs, whatever it may be. And Matt Benson is in the house. Yes, baby. Thank you. Love you, mate. Okay? Use previous media mentions as leverage. As I said, in the next slide, I'm going to show you guys our cold pitch email. Okay? And I've outlined all of these little bullet points here. Okay? So use previous media mentions as leverage. When these hosts and publishers see that you have been featured in other media outlets, it's like a little bit of a competition for them and a little bit of a jealousy factor. And if they're like, if he's good enough to be featured here, then I have to feature him on my podcast, or I have to write an article about him, or I have to put him in my magazine, okay? Use other credibility factors. This is where your websites come into play, guys. Here, for those of you that just came in, right? Your website, about me, your personal website. Wix, a one-page little website, just a snippet about who you are. And like a Facebook, this is about me. As I said, if you want these slides, I'd be happy to send them to you. So just shoot us an email or come and speak to us after, and I'll send you all of these slides so you can have them. Okay? So use other credibility factors in your email to get these free gigs. Okay? If you do not have any media mentions, videos, blogs, social media, put your links in a signature. So we all have a signature when we send an email, right? You can have links in that signature that people can click on. They can see a little bit more about you. You can even have your personal website in there. You can have the Wix one-page bio website, or you can have the about.me in there, okay? And here is our cold pitch email. Okay? I know it's a little bit small. You can't read it, but just read these key little points there, okay? I had reached out to you previously last year about getting the real estate dingo Engelo Rumora on the EOF podcast show. We're relating to the host. We reached out to him a year ago. They declined us. We're reaching out to him again now. Okay? So what are we showing there? We're showing a genuine desire of being featured on his podcast. And of course, a year later, there's a ton that has changed. Maybe my story wasn't interesting before, or maybe it was. Maybe he was just so busy that he said no. But because he saw us follow up, he said, you know what? I like them because they're showing persistence. Okay? Engelo is a ball of inspiration, and I believe his journey would motivate many entrepreneurs and startups all over the world. Is it about me? Yes, it is a little bit, but it's more about the startups and other entrepreneurs that listen to his podcast. So we have educated ourselves on what his target audience is, right? So we will, or Engelo will motivate your target audience. He wants that, right? And of course, I'm a ball of inspiration. I'm a crazy Australian guy that's rude, that's loud, that's raw, right? Of course, that goes to my benefit. So what I can tell you right now is be different. Success comes from doing things differently. Don't be just a boring asshole. Do something different. Wear a freaking pink suit jacket. I don't know, wear orange socks, wear red shoes, right? Start a group, there you go. I love that, mate. We'll take a photo after. Start a freaking, a Facebook page. Where's my briefcase? I've got a Louis Vuitton briefcase there, and I said, my Louis and I, right? I was actually going to start a Facebook page with my Louis. And I was going to travel all over the world with this freaking briefcase and take photos of me and my Louis Vuitton briefcase and have a Facebook page about that. I didn't do it, but anyway, we might do it, right? So be different. Success comes from doing things differently. Don't be boring, right? Don't be boring. Just Google him and you will find a ton of content and crazy videos. There is our leverage, right? We're using previous videos that I've done. If he wants to know a little bit more about who I am, right? Google him. When I ran out of business cards yesterday, and people are like, how do I get in contact with you? Well, Google is the best business card. Google my name. Google my company name. We are so freaking loud and proud, you can find us everywhere. I mean, it's insane. I'm currently working on my own Wikipedia page right now. The more content that you can dump on the web, the better. Now, don't forget this, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, 5 minutes to lose one. If you're doing shady shit, the website's gonna kill you. So keep it clean. Don't be shady. Unfortunately, there are too many scammers out there. I can name all of them. I'm not gonna name all of them, but I know every scammer in the country right now, and I'll tell you this, there are not many that are legit, and I'll tell you this too, run a $35 background check on everyone that you think is selling you a legitimate product or a legitimate course, seminar, DVD, whatever it may be, and see what you find. Go 25 years back. Liens, judgments, lawsuits, you name it. Feel free to do one on me. You know what? Hire a private detective if you want to follow me around, so just so you see if I've got anything on my record. You do not want to work with shit people, guys. You do not want to work with shit people. They will screw you. You will lose money. I've lost hundreds and thousands of dollars because I worked with the wrong people. Not because the numbers in the deal didn't make sense. Not because the business profitability of a business didn't make sense. It was because I worked with the wrong people. Okay, I touched on this yesterday. Teamwork makes the dream work. Make sure you have the right people. Okay, Google. So if you are a legitimate operator, if you are running a legitimate business, then you've got nothing to hide, so dump as much content as you can on the web. Personal website, Wix.com, About.me, Facebook pages, my Louis Vuitton briefcase and I, whatever, be different, but dump the content on there. And last but not least, and I mean this front cover gig, thanks to everyone at Affinity and whatnot for doing that for me. This front cover gig has absolutely propelled us to the stratosphere. I mean, every single cold pitch email that we send, right, we're getting gigs based on that front cover. And I'm plastering that freaking front cover everywhere. I should get a shirt with it too. I actually bought 5 banners with that front cover. I mean, gonna paint my freaking rooms in my house with that front cover. Literally, that is how insane, how much free publicity we have been getting just based on that front cover. How did we get to that front cover, guys? Is what I explained to you in the previous slides, right? Emails every single day. Throw shit on the wall, eventually some will stick. When you're negotiating, right, as we touched on in the previous presentation, and when you're looking at getting free publicity. Make the call, send the email, ask. Every single freaking day, ask the question. My number one thing on my 2016 to-do list is ask more questions. Because I talk too much. I always overpower everyone. I'm always a ball of energy, as we've written there, and I'm always just 100 miles an hour. I need to shut the fuck up, and I need to ask more questions. I need to learn about others more. right? Because as I told you guys, I got to where I am today by asking questions of people who are where I wanted to be. So why the hell am I talking so much now? Shut up, Engelo. Ask questions because you learn something new from everyone, guys. I'm not going to tell you the best advice that I ever got given. I think I've got to wrap up here. They're going to kick me out. And as I said, I don't want to get into an argument and a fight with anyone. So the last one is the Dingo reviewing the draft copy of his first front page article on a big RE magazine. That is what landed us a podcast on the Entrepreneur on Fire, in my opinion. I don't know. I'll have to ask John if that's what really landed us a podcast. But right now, we're actually putting the front cover there. And we've got a little blurb there. The Dingo on the front cover of a big real estate magazine. Okay? Research media outlets you want to be featured in. This is my last slide, second last slide, okay? These are all of the media outlets that I have been featured in. Silicon Valley Business Journal, The Globe and Mail, it's a Canadian publication. Inc., you bet your ass, Inc., right? Inc. has featured the Dingo, this schmuck. Yahoo, Bloomberg Radio, Chicago Tribune, Alley Watch. I'm humbled, seriously. But that was a lot of hard work every single day, still to this day. Okay? So here's a tip, a few tips for you guys. iTunes. Jump on iTunes right now and Google the top business podcasts. You will find hundreds of business podcasts. Find out who the host is, relate to them in a shape and form, right? And send them the cold pitch email. Send them a message through their website. Send the freaking emails, guys. Send the emails. Cast the net, right? And eventually you'll catch a few fish. Okay? So iTunes, list for top business podcasts. Contact journalists/hosts directly via their preferred social media platforms. So if you do not have any success, of getting a response through the message, through their actual website platform, okay, where the podcast is actually held, find out who the host is, okay, hit them up on Facebook, hit them up on Twitter, hit them up on LinkedIn, and put the effort in getting a reply. See what they say. Maybe they give you their email address. Maybe you can send them that cold pitch email. If they don't give you their email address, just figure out a way to really condense your pitch into literally 4 sentences and then send that. We just got a gig, how long ago? 2 weeks ago on Nathan Latka's The Top podcast because Dominique reached out to him via Facebook message. All he responded was, sure. Email, and then we sent him an email, and then he sent us a link to schedule a podcast. That guy has interviewed Tim Ferriss. That guy has freaking interviewed the world's most renowned entrepreneurs, hedge fund managers, I mean, you name it. And here I am on his freaking podcast. You know how many eyes see that shit? How many eyes hear that? Right? Because of one message. Okay? Contact journalists, hosts directly via their social media profiles. Facebook is awesome. LinkedIn is even better. Twitter will work. And check this out. Tip number 3, guess. Find their email. You're probably thinking I'm freaking mad. Well, check this out. I'm not sure how many of you know Grant Cardone, right? He's a huge entrepreneur right now. He's doing a ton of everything, right? I guessed his email. You know how I guessed it? grant@grantcardone.com. And you know how many emails I've exchanged with him? If you want proof, I can show it to you. I've literally asked this guy for advice, and he's responded to me because I guessed his freaking email. Nido Kubain is another one. Lewis Howes is a third. I guessed their email, guys. You know what my email address is? Engelo@engelorumora.com. If that doesn't work, if it bounces, then do e@engelorumora.com. If that doesn't work, then do er@engelorumora.com, right? We emailed Gary Vaynerchuk, he didn't respond. Got a hold of Mark Zuckerberg's email. Got a hold of freaking Bill Gates' email. Now that was some weird shit. Because when we emailed him, right, we got a very weird Microsoft response back. I've got no clue how they've structured that, but I know that that was his email. No ifs, ands, or buts, because the response that we got wasn't a postmaster delivery notification failure. It was something very, very freaking weird, like encrypting here, blah, blah, blah there. So that is his email. For sure it is. Okay, but of course, they don't want bums like me getting through to him, right? So these are your tips, guys. These are your tips. That's it. I'm done. I'm not asking for a vote. Just like my page on Facebook, The Real Estate Dingo. Now, thanks. We're done. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.